Welcome back, everyone. And as we wait to get the next match ready, we've got an excellent guest here on the desk with a smashing performance in that last map on Cash against SK. It's going to be Sponge from Renegades.
I thought you were talking about me, Chobra. No. A little disappointed, aren't you?
Next time. Well, we got to give Sponge the spotlight this time, Joe. I'm sorry. We'll make a different segment for you later in the day for sure. But Sponge, you've got that big grin on your face. You had that brief chat with OG, of course, but it's got to feel good. I mean, you're setting up. You have a say in how this tournament plays out now.
Yeah, well, hopefully now that we have this win, we can dictate how the next few rounds go until it gets reset again. But feeling a lot more confident today than I was yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys showed it in the game, too. I mean, Natu, we were watching that game, and I just impressed by saying, all right, this is the Renegades that most people would have expected if they were following you guys coming into this tournament.
Oh, yeah, and it was a good decision by you guys on the second half when it was, I think you were 12-8 up or something. You took a timeout, started thinking things through, and started playing more towards middle. I felt that was a good call. How did you feel about it?
Yesterday I got slammed on Twitter for taking a pause way too late in one of the matches. So I thought about that a lot and thought if we were in a position where we could just sit there for the 3 minutes or whatever and talk through what's happened and what's going to happen for the rest of the half, it'll reset us mentally and we can go into that round positive. And Azza actually had the idea of saying their mid team's really weak, Cadian's just AWPing it and he can flash and get himself out. So he actually made that call and I trusted him and yeah, we won the round, so it was good.
Yeah. What do you think to actually teams purposely, I mean, you guys were basically the first ones to lose the 2 lives, right? Do you think that teams were picking on you as the kind of the weak link in this tournament?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think if you can get a team out before you have well, first of all, you get more prize money. Second of all, you're going to make it further in the tournament and hopefully you get an easier matchup. So people, like, if teams were just going to keep putting hard teams against us, we would have just been out straight away. Like the top 3, MyUs, EnVy and TSM, we would have had a real rough time. But now that hopefully we've broken that, we can take on maybe CLG or SK later down the line and maybe knock them out or move further in the tournament.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the outside of the game factor here for the Intel Extreme Masters. You told us the French-Australian alliance is coming out, but it didn't really start off so well in the beginning of the day, did it?
It didn't start off so well yesterday either, where they put us up against MyUs in the second round. But yeah, we had a chat yesterday, and I look, I'm a big Survivor fan. I've gone straight into this. I'm cutthroat. We need an alliance. We need to knock these other people out. You know.
I love it.
So after everything settled from yesterday, I thought if we could just get a bit of support from another team, that we could move further in the tournament. So I had a chat to MBK and Happy and stuff, and I floated the idea. And they were meant to get here this morning and give us CLG. So we could beat CLG, and then we were going to give them SK so that they could get another easy win, and that means MyUs Sports and TSM would have had to face off, and they would have lost a life. So luckily, TSM played CLG, and they won. And then we were lucky enough to get SK on our best map, which is Cache.
Yeah.
So it all worked out. Now what I'm going to, well, this match right here, we've fed CLG, which is Inferno's their worst map, to EnVy, which Inferno's probably one of their better maps.
Right.
And then hopefully, if the rules permit it, I have to go double check it, EnVy can give us SK again.
That can happen.
Yeah. So if we get SK again, we beat them, then we can make TSM and MyUs play off, and they have to take a live off each other.
Wow. So this is the master plan is all thought out.
I was about to say, I'm like, definitely you got it all worked out. Got a piece of paper there with the full route to victory covered. So if that were to happen, then you were to face off against SK again. Obviously, we've already seen Cash being played, which means can't be played again. Where would you prefer to face them there?
I don't think the map matters. It's just about making sure Nico can't get a stronghold on the game. He's the player on their team who just is a mad fragger and can mess up. Like, he can 3v1 and then, you know, your whole half stuffed. If you can keep him at bay, if you isolate him, or if you can just basically make sure you trade on him really well and don't give him chances, you're going to beat SK, because the rest of the players, even though they're good players, they're not mad fraggers like him that can change rounds completely.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Nico single-handedly change a couple rounds in a row and gain that momentum for SK yesterday, of course. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Than when you were on stage, you were talking with OG and you said, well, the advantage that we have is that many teams don't have as much experience against us specifically, so regardless of skill, we are kind of that wild card coming in any tournament. How much of that do you think matters against some of the other teams that seem like favorites here, like EnVy and TSM, eventually if you have to play them again?
So earlier this year when we were at Gfinity and we had the wild card factor on our side again, we managed to take a map off NiP on Train, and we managed to take Cache off Fnatic. Now, there were 2 really good wins, and we played our style, we played confident, and we did everything that we wanted to do, and we beat them, so that was good. We can do that again if we get a strong map against TSM or MyUs or EnVy, but if we end up on like a Mirage again, we're just going to get shafted. It's a map which we're trying to bring back into our map pool, but it's not one of our strong maps. So to get that versus TSM yesterday was a bit heartbreaking.
Yeah, definitely a rough start for you guys yesterday, but it sounds like things are panning out pretty well for you. I mean, you set Envy up for success here, and hopefully they can set you back up, and then you'll put TSM and Mouse under the bus together, and that'll be your tournament victory road here for Intel Extreme Masters. Going forward, now that you've mentioned the whole map pool bit a bit, this is something we discussed on the panel quite a few times. In some ways, we're actually really seeing the strength of map pool diversity here because you don't know what map you're playing. You don't have a chance to prepare for like your set of matches coming into this tournament. What are your thoughts on that with this new tournament format?
Well, I heard Nadu talking about yesterday, like in best of ones, normally you know who you're playing, so at least you can prepare. So you know what their strong maps are and what your strong maps are. You kind of have a good idea of what it's probably going to get vetoed down to. In this format, like you said, you have absolutely no idea. So in the lead up, we just tried to practice every map as hard as we could with the time that we had. Otherwise, it's just closing your eyes and hoping it's a good map when you get matched up against somebody. That's all it is.
Yeah. Do you think it plays into your favor though, as you know, the wild card team, if you like, from Australia? You guys obviously dominated the ESL 1 qualifiers, actually didn't lose a map throughout that entire qualifier. Do you think it plays into your hands that teams don't see you playing against other top level teams on such so often?
Yeah, definitely. It means we can have a lot of surprises, stuff that they don't know that we're going to do. We get to hide our strats for a very long period of time while these guys are competing events every weekend and having to show either new stuff or hide stuff and lose, and that hurts their morale because you want to win. It's definitely an advantage for us in that way, but it's a disadvantage in the fact that every time we've come over and had a boot camp before an event, I feel we've always performed better because you can get on the European way of thinking. When we just come over dry, we're playing our style. Yesterday versus Mouse, I don't think I've ever played a team that was as sharp as them. Like Nex and Spitty, you'd come around a corner, you were instantly dead. You need a few days of boot camp or practice in Europe to get used to that first, so you're playing situations smarter. You take a lot of risks at home that pay off because you're versing lesser players. Here, you don't have that, and once you get punished, it takes you a while to adapt mentally, and then you're 10-1 down on Dust 2 T-side, and that's the day over.
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking the whole time we're talking, and I'm like, all right, well, we talk about the master plan here for you and Envy, of course, hand in hand. What if, though? What if Envy loses this one? Like, how do you envision that playing out? Do you think everyone's instantly going to turn back on you now that you've just come openly and said, France and Australia are coming for you guys? I mean, do you think they're just going to turn suddenly on you two and just try to focus fire both of you guys down? And,
so, if CLG win in this one, definitely, they're just going to go, all right, we'll just put you up against a better team, and they'll just beat you and you lose another life, which is fair enough. But if it was, say, like a matchup, maybe Envy versus Mouse, and it was later down the track, and Mouse won, they're still going to want TSM to lose a life. So they're going to put them up or make sure that the matches end up with TSM playing against a harder opponent either in the next match or the following one. That's if they've thought about it as much as me. Maybe I've thought about it too much, and speaking about the alliance has ruined me. But I've got the immunity idol, so we're set.
There's TSM backstage just rolling the dice every time before they go on stage to pick their next opponents.
It could very well be. I mean, this is all very interesting to hear, though, that, I mean, for someone like you, you're actually sitting here, and SK, too, when we spoke with Katie, and he's like, well, we thought about it for us. We're going to play this a little selfishly, and we want to try to knock someone else out as fast as possible, and that was you guys yesterday, but then you come back.
Yeah. But it's fun to like, first day everyone was a bit cautious, not really know what to do with this, but now it's day 2, and everyone's just going full on out with this. It's like, all right, we know how to play this game. We'll roll with it. Yeah, it's good.
I feel like everyone had like half a plan yesterday, but they've kind of, had the evening to actually figure out what the hell they're actually doing here. Like, what is actually our strategy? Because yesterday was like, I'm Katie and I'm from Denmark, so TSM. I suppose I'll pick them and try and get them a win on the board. But it seems like everyone's a little bit more, settled in, more familiar with the format, and have taken like the time now that the lives have dwindled down a little bit to figure out an exact plan.
Yeah, it's very exciting for us to see how this all pans out, and you guys kind of developing and evolving, we might say, as we see the week pan out going forward. Of course, now going to this match, you mentioned, I mean, the map kind of turned out favorable for the plan you originally had. Would you have still selected the same matchup no matter what, though, regardless of map?
If it came out like a map that I didn't think Envy were too confident on, I would have called Happy over for a quick little chat, and then we would have decided.
That would have been great to see.
Tactical pause. All right, cool.
But when it was Inferno, it was a no-brainer. I know that it's not a strong map for CLG, and it's a strong map for the French, all French teams, so it had to be done.
I'm not sure if we've actually got any rules against that. OJ's on stage. Okay, who do you want to pick? Wait a second, Happy, come over here. Who do you want to play?
Yeah, we don't have any rules. Not written yet, so if that happens in the future, we could, I mean, when it comes down to like 4 teams, or even after one team gets knocked out, the alliance is going to grow stronger for sure, because you want to survive one extra day, one extra match. So I think we may see that going forward, maybe later in the day, maybe tomorrow for day 3. But very exciting stuff, and just you have a brilliant mind here. You had this all figured out. We're sitting back here thinking of the possibilities, and Anders is going on and on about how common sense should work and logical possibilities. But then we're sitting here thinking about how we would play selfishly. It's great to hear how you figured something out for yourself and how for the Renegades to survive here in the Intel Extreme Masters. It's exciting stuff. Well, I can't wait to see how this game pans out. Now, going forward though, let's assume you're not the first team knocked down. You're like, let's say we're down to 4 teams and you're still in this game. Do you think you're gonna have to start rethinking how that pans out? Like if you're still buddy with Envy by that point. I mean, at some point, right, when you get that close, like you're gonna want to go for that win because you never know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. At some point, somebody's gonna have to backstab somebody. If we can make it to the top 2 and then Envy still have all their lives, then we're gonna have to pull off a miracle to take off all the maps off them. But if it can get us to the top 2, top 3, then it's probably a risk that we're willing to take. We're a bit like a wounded deer right now, and if they can carry us through and help us out a little bit, then sure, we'll get them to the final.
And you just turn around and bite them viciously, like as a deer, just like trying to rip at them as a deer. Well, we could see that happen. Again, I mean, everything's best of 1. Matchups are kind of in your hands, so hopefully for any Renegades fans out there, hopefully this plan all works out for you guys and Envy. Maybe you guys are the last 2 teams left on day 4.
I also just want to quickly thank you for bringing the Australian weather to Cologne, by the way.
No worries.
I'm sure that the close-ups are doing me great justice right now. I've got sweat just dripping off me. It's Australian weather here in Cologne.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty warm, yeah.
Actually, it's whenever you appear as well, Pro League finals, you were here and it was 4,000 degrees.
Yeah.
We talk about Finland and, high summer is like 5 degrees. Everyone's topless. Polar bears are all sunning themselves and stuff. But I don't know, you seem to bring this hot weather with you every time you appear, Natu.
I know, it's just something with me. I am the sun man.
Yeah,
the sun man.
I'm like,
That was from the worst joke I've ever pulled off in my entire life.
That wasn't even a joke, was it?
That was so horrible.
So just getting migraines. He's like, I've got other things to think about. I was like, I have to deal with not just jokes here on this panel.
But I'm finished after all, so bear with me. Bad jokes, it's just,
Was that a bear pun?
Fair enough.
Hey?
Was that a bear pun? Bear with you?
No. Oh, the now we're getting like next level on bad jokes. Like see how far we can go with bad puns.
But that's the Australian sense of humor right there.
Going places here on the panel for the Intel Extreme Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for the next matchup again. CLG versus Envy, all set up thanks to Renegades, and of course Sponge here on the panel. Looking to see if CLG can just be the absolute wounded one here in the Intel Extreme Masters. If they are going to be pushed to the very edge, that's going to get really intense. And we talked about this earlier, Natu. What happens, though, when one team gets down to 1 life? Do they suddenly just turn like Super Saiyan and suddenly just go on against everyone? Because you could, right? I mean, in some ways, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw CLG do that, because they do that in match. Like when we saw them on Overpass, suddenly James just turns a switch on and says, wait, hold on, like we can't lose. We need to win, and takes like 3 rounds for his team. And then they almost try to
maybe they
get
need
a comeback.
that. Like they need to be in the situation where they have to really do well. I mean, we saw them in the previous match where they were doing like good things early on in the round, but then they just stalled and just forgot about, how do we play with confidence mid-round. So maybe that's the kind of push they need to be on the edge. I don't know.
I mean, I think a lot of teams actually thrive in that kind of situation as well. You have teams that just generally turn up. Doesn't matter who they're playing, they'll play their game and they'll see it through. But there are teams that honestly they perform better when they've got their back to the walls, and maybe that's a bit of a factor for CLG, and whoever ends up with just that 1 life situation, because in one way the pressure's gone, right? You're like, well, we got 1 life, it's probably over for us right now, so the pressure's off. Same time though, you also have that, all right, we've only got 1 life left, guys. Let's play super serious right now, and that could also work in the complete opposite direction as well.
Yep. I don't want to turn this into a bit of a morbid talk here, but speaking of teams that may go down to 1 life and whatever, if you had a choice, right, where like we show up and we're like, new rule, guys, Renegades, you won the lottery, you get to eliminate 1 team from the start. Which team would you have gotten rid of before alliances or anything formed? Would you have gotten rid of Envy, or would you have gotten rid of TSM or MAUs, one of the other 2? Or even one of the other 2 teams left, SK and CLG?
To not play against or not play at all?
to not play against yourselves.
Okay. I was going to say, if we can remove him from the tournament, let's get rid of EnVy and TSM. And then, that's all right. To not play against, I think, either TSM or EnVy. You know, they're like, I think MyUs, like our match, the scoreline, it was really one-sided, but the first 11 rounds of that game, we were losing stupid 4v2 situations and losing 1v1s, and we kept their money low, and we lost the game there. So I think MyUs, if we play them again, we might be able to beat them. But I don't think, I would like to not play it against EnVy or TSM if I had the choice.
Let's talk about MyUs a little bit. I mean, because you've had the experience playing against them. Of course, they do have some history on Dust 2, but at the same time, like you said, I mean, they seem to be pretty on point yesterday. How do you rate them in terms of where their strengths lie compared to EnVy and TSM?
I think, like, looking at the roster and the way that they play, it doesn't look like it should, like, add up. Like, GodB's brought so much structure to that team. Like, the players, I remember watching them in the past, they'd just go and do really random things. And, like, if something happens, they wouldn't know how to react. They'd kind of just, like, do their own thing. But now they have, like, a contingency plan for whatever happens on whatever round. Like, if lots of stuff gets thrown at long on Dust 2, then the short guys know to push out and get information. Or the B guy pushes dark to get information. Like, they're just so structured in that regard. And I think the way for us to beat them, actually, I probably shouldn't say that because we might verse them. I'll leave that topic.
Right.
But we just need to take advantage of the fact that they seem so structured. And if you can put a spanner in the structure and pick on one player or pick on one link, you can ruin the structure.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Natu mentioned this yesterday, the call comes from Penta, and they played, you know, like stupid Counter-Strike, like completely ridiculous stuff. But once they'd taken that core and added GodB, it's taken them a few months to get to this point, but GodB's brought in that structure, and, you know, he's kind of like the older, sensible counter-striker that says, you know, it makes sense when you, or it maybe doesn't make sense when you do this a lot of the time, but that's actually a good thing sometimes, that you do things that the enemy are just completely not expecting. Good thing for them is since they've actually, you know, had GodB in there, they're playing a little bit more normal, still aggressive, and I mean, it's great Counter-Strike to watch. I remember watching Mouse Sports in 1.6, and honestly, GodB and Mouse Sports sent me to sleep a lot of the time in 1.6, especially on Dust 2, but they're a lot more exciting to watch these days.
I mean, you can say they do more calculated risks now than when, you know, back in the beta days, it was just, out of your, I don't even know how to describe it anymore, to be honest with you. But GodB's is really, when you're able to combine sort of what we were talking about actually with EnVy, when you can, like, more aggressive, reckless style with a bit of structure, when you can find, like, the good middle of it, I think that could be a really, really good combination of things. Because at the end of the day, it's a matter of timing your aggressiveness in the correct manner. It's about when you do it and which kind of, in which round and on which kind of situation in the middle of a round when you do the aggression. So if you can find the right balance, it can be really good.
Yeah, well, it could be some time before we see Mouse Sports today if everything works out in favor of EnVy and Renegades. Of course, they'll have to save that for the Mouse TSM matchup. A little bit of a matchup there for the later half of the day. But for now, of course, waiting for CLG versus EnVy. Looks like all of our players are just making sure everything works fine, getting warmed up for a third match of day 2. A very important match for CLG more than anything. They don't want to lose another life, ladies and gentlemen. They're down to 2 already. If they go down any lower, they're just going to be a target for anyone else. I mean, they could have alliances with other teams and they could just start ditching them and be like, well, listen, like, we don't know if you can really help us out anymore. You've only got one life. You never know when you're going to turn your back on us just to survive. So things could get pretty rocky.
They become like that friend that you don't really ever want to hang around with, but, you know, you just do because he's your friend and you've already made that friendship.
Oh,
you know?
no.
So, you know, when you go down to one life, it's like, well, don't really need you anymore. Sorry, friend. You're not invited to the party today.
That'd be pretty brutal if we see that turning out here for CLG. So all of you watching from America and also just generally rooting for CLG, if you're watching, you definitely want to send the energy over to CLG. But EnVy looking really crisp, and I think Sponge here making the right calls for both yourself and Happy and his teammates over on EnVy. Looks like knife round will be kicking off here, so we'll see. I mean, if CLG gets to have their choice of side, maybe they'll take that momentum a little bit better again.
I mean, as Anders pointed out before, day 1 performance is always transition to day 2 performance, so it's going to be very interesting to see how EnVy actually does here in day 2. Apex, Kenny had a really good day 1. Apex, as I pointed out yesterday, is a very hot or cold player where he's either doing really good or just doing miserably. So that's going to be an interesting something for you who's watching the game is to follow how is Apex doing. I think if he's doing well, if he's up on the scoreboard, I think that's a good sign for EnVy every single time.
Well, we just saw that knife round pan out. Logic Gaming eliminating everyone from EnVy, so they get their choice of side. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to find out. Will CLG get knocked down to 1 life, or will EnVy finally lose a life here at the Intel Extreme Masters? Going over to the casters for match number 3 of our second day.
Thank you very much, Chobra and guys. I am Lee D-Man Smith. I'm joined by Anders Bloom for this one. And this could be an interesting one. The start there, immediately, the knife round, that went CLG's way, which immediately gives them a little chance. They're starting out on the CT side. That's what you need for the underdog to get going.
Yeah, it has to be a whole number of things turning out right here for CLG. I mean, we were talking about some of the chances for an upset, but honestly, EnVy seemed so strong yesterday on this map, and traditionally with the old lineup, this is one of their major strengths. So it's hard to imagine that they're going to lose this game to CLG, but you're right. I mean, winning that knife round, so at least a step in the right direction.
I mean, they pushed TSM very close this morning, first game of the day. They could realistically have flipped that game. It went, what, 16-12, I think it was, at the end there. Just a few little things.
Yeah.
Very much a different style for Inferno, though. Obviously a lot more closed, that's for sure, as a map. Now, Mousesports pushed them well enough. I mean, I think it was 15-8 at one point. It ended up at 16-12, 16-13, so it was pretty close. And this, of course, is the new EnVyUs. This is the main thing. This is we've seen them once playing this map. They were okay, I think it's safe to say, but they weren't exactly setting the world on fire like you'd maybe hope from a new team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take a while, and I imagine that even if they continue to form pretty well today, then we will eventually see like some downfalls of a new team like this. It's going to take a couple of months before they're like, fully connected here, but I mean, if Kenny and EnVyUs play like they did yesterday, then I'm still pretty excited for what we're going to see. And it looks like the pistol round is already underway here. Cutler and Tarek playing over towards the A side of the map. JDM towards Archway, and Finesse and Hazed over that B bomb site. And a fairly slow start, except for Tarek, who's moving up and is going to be walking right into NBK. Not the best start here for CLG.
No, the first kill of the game. If you just joined us, this is the Intel Extreme Masters. And of course, we are at Gamescom in Hall 8, if you are interested in coming along or have tickets to join us later on. Big stack, 3 members of EnVyUs at A. Now, Cutler's all alone, so they've triple stacked over B, which is where the bomb is going. EnVyUs currently moving that way with Keo, Kenny, and Apex. Happy's going to find Cutler in a moment if he comes around, or will it go roll reverse, or will Cutler be able to land one of these shots? Gets a good little tag, but that is all just a love tap as they push through B side.
Oh, great grenade out here, but it's actually a little bit too late. Kiyoshima going to be taking on Hazed, and JDM with a good shot, but he goes down. Finesse next in line, and Cutler now in a 1v3. I actually thought he was going to be maybe down first, as there were 2 people in middle. Cutler going to be walking in. The bomb is down as well, and they're going to group up with the flashbang follow-up as well. It's NBK picking up a triple kill and taking only 2 points of damage that round. So,
and that's a great start for NBK, because he didn't have the best of days yesterday. He was bottom frag, and he said it himself. We obviously saw the tweets coming out. It's like, you know, I played terrible, but my team carried me through it. That's the beauty of these all-star teams these days. You're looking at your Fanatics, your EnVyUs, TSMs. Someone will always step up on those teams.
Yeah, and NBK is just an absolutely solid player. Has been for basically his whole global offensive career. So I'm not surprised that he can make it back fairly quickly. Nice boost here, right at the corner of the B-bomb site. He got a C-set 75 and a 5-7. Cutler going to be taken out on 1, but there's Finesse dropping Apex, and they're going to peek again. Kiyoshima there with a Nova shotgun, and just going to be dropping Finesse and Tarek both. A lot of money in his pockets, obviously. NBK spraying furiously through the smoke. Bomb's going to go down, but look at how low Kiyoshima and Kenny are. It's a bit scary for EnVy, even though they should win this round.
Well, Cutler has that Mac 10, but bomb down. I think they're just going to look at saving this one. Yeah, he's going to back away. Hazed, of course, just with the pistol, see if he can pick anything up en route. They will step away, and EnVyUs will take themselves a straightforward second round. And Kiko, like you mentioned, he would have got a decent amount of cash with that Nova. That's going to put them in good stead. They are on the T side, remember. CT map. Oh, actually, they may have read this situation well. Hazed is going to run straight down, and I think... No, Kenny was coming that direction for a moment. We went all mid, but instead he went straight into the Zeke spawn.
He's got a Nova without a skin, D-man. What up with that?
Well, I mean, is it Dupree or Device that never has skins? Which one was it, the TSM guy?
Oh yeah, I think they've.
Have they maybe now?
Yeah,
now
I think
got
they've
them?
changed it. But you're right. They had some iterations where they refused to do it. Guardian on Na'Vi would also for a long time play without any skins at all. So we've got some purists among us, people who just refuse to buy into it.
Oh, Happy's gone real aggressive. He's straight at the top of mid. He's going around while the rest of the team stack up Banana. He's already going through straight to Arch. It's going to work out well. He manages to find JDM down. He's going to wrap around, and now CLG in a real tricky situation. But Cutler, with that MAC-10 save from the last round, does catch him in the back as soon as he tries to move in CT spawn. And MVR on the rotate, so Happy sold them a dummy.
Smart call coming out from Happy here. Realized he got spotted in Archway, obviously killed in Archway, so reckons it's better to fall back to A. Nice shot from Hayes, but he is going to go down to Apex, and the rotation for the rest of the CLG players is a little bit later, and that means it's not quite on time. Still, good damage put up on Cutler here, and 3v3 retake coming up from CLG, it seems.
Cutler and Finesse look like they're going to be going quad side. Cutler, he's got Tarek joining him. Tarek's a little slow to get here, though. He's going through apartments. Apex already got quad covered off. You can see there with the shotgun. Not the greatest weapon at range, but we'll certainly be able to cut them down with no armor on. So Cutler's the only man. It looks like they're going to try and save the head armor and try and catch it. Some exits here. But EnVyUs not falling for it. They're going to go back away through CT spawn.
Oh, Cutler, look at
Nice.
this. The MAC-10 damage gets another one. That's 2 with the MAC-10. Will eventually fall, and they are going to get all the kills, in fact. Envy ending up exploding with the bomb, and look at Cutler. He can actually afford AWP armor if he wants to. Just barely.
There it is. It's going to... Oh, JDM, but why would... Okay, he could have passed it off to JDM, but JDM's just gone, you know what? I can afford it myself. I don't need none of this grenade malarkey. It's not going to work out for him. EnVyUs, of course, top stacks of cash. Just having a look at the position. JDM is going to be the mid man, so Keo's going to be staring there while the rest of the team from EnVyUs, they pile straight up second mid, and they're coming straight around. Are they going to rush straight out? Surely not. No, they will slow things down. You can see JDM scoped up and ready. MBK lining up.
I feel like this is Envy's favorite strategy on Inferno. This is what they do all the time, and they
Cuts
did
off
it yesterday
Arch,
in mouse
yeah.
sports as well.
Yeah, and the one against Mouse. What? That's not how it was meant to work out. JDM with a double in one shot. Gets a glimpse of the second as well, so that's giving him information. I'm pretty sure he realizes one behind him. No, will get caught out by that. Cutler, though, in pit, does manage to clear out that one, and now Happy all alone. One man, they know exactly where he is, and they're going to come around and check him. Hayes will take it down. And that's the first round on the board for CLG. JDM with the double started things, and it's so tricky when something like that happens because you just can't count on that. You can strat all you like in the world, but one man lands a shot and gets a double. It just stops you in your tracks.
That does put a really big dent in Envy in that round. But I mean, obviously, apart from that, really good movement from CLG, essentially sort of allowing Envy to get into the bomb site, then trying to sandwich them between the pit and JDM pushing out a library. Timing was a bit off, but the idea was there, and it shows you that CLG recognized the strat and they knew what was coming, and that's very important. There's something that we were criticizing Mousesports for yesterday is the fact that they didn't quite seem to recognize that pattern of smokes, and I feel like everyone should know at this point.
Yeah.
So now it's back to smokes, armor, and pistols here for Envy, which is traditionally a big strength of theirs, I guess.
We'll see whether it works out. They're going to stack out straight through Boiler. They're going to back away, actually. So they're trying to sell the fake here. They were hoping that maybe CLG had pushed Banana pretty deep, which you can see a deep smoke is down there, which Keo will be reporting to his team. So they can't go on a full rotate just yet. They're trying to see if they can tag out Hayes through the smoke. Keo, though, on your screen, still waiting. Smoke now cleared. And it's going to give Tarek an easy opportunity to land the first. Can he get the second? No, tagged up, making good use of the pillar, though, to dodge out from the bullets. He's in trouble, like 3 hit points. He's taken down by Finesse from behind. Hayes on the rotate. They're going to be in position before they can push B.
So a bit unfortunate, but let's be honest, Tarek was probably dead anyway, so maybe if Finesse just actually put him out of his misery, just, you know, didn't leave him to be tortured by the Frenchman down in the middle of Banana there. CLG should have no issue clearing up this round. It should be a mere formality at this point here. Hayes going to spray down a couple of people, and next in line, Happy will get another kill. And they shouldn't be giving up any more here, and there it is. JDM with the AWP finishing the round and making it to 2-3. And no bomb plant for Envy, but they'll still have money to put together at least 3 AKs and a couple of Tech 9s, I think.
Yeah, good information covered there, as it was... I think it was Cutler actually had pushed into Apartment's balcony, so he was just watching, making sure nobody else went back on the rotate, but
Look at this. Envy could actually have gone for 3 AKs and maybe even, a Galil and a Tech-9, but they actually chose to save, and that is something that they normally don't do a lot.
They normally force everything you can get, but 3.4 on Kenny S still, so there's plenty of money. They just choose not to go for it. Again, I think they're just probing. I think this is a fact-finding mission right now. Figure out CLG's defenses and try and find the little gap in the armor. Again, it is going to be top and mid they're going to challenge. But this time, Hayes switch position. But look at this. Immediately, they come around the top and mid, try and fake it out, and go straight back down there. Try and fake out, try and draw CLG, hope that they're going to be aggressive, maybe lack a little bit of discipline, move out of their positions.
Yeah, I like the way CLG are playing this. No one is really in a position where they're completely alone. Finesse is over here, but he can see them coming and should be falling back fairly quickly, and he's got backup nearby. It's JDM showing up with that AWP. Finesse in the back of the bomb site, spraying down Kenny first and doing decent damage to MBK and Apex both. And there's JDM picking up one, pistols out. Apex is going to go down as well, and JDM looking for a third kill here. See if he can spot the face of Kiyoshima in the pit. Finally coming out with another gun to stab, and there it is. JDM taking out Kiyoshima for a great money bonus there. That's amazing.
I mean, it's not even bad manners. It's great money bonus for a guy that needs to buy orbs. That's fantastic for JDM there. I was wondering when he actually started to go for the wreath load. I was like, okay, what are you doing next? 3-3 though, CLG. Getting things starting to settle down a little bit here on the CT side. It is a CT-sided map. You would expect them to maybe come out with a better half, but they are against EnVyUs, so every round counts here. Kenny going for the boost. Nobody from CLG this time is looking though, so they went for a deep smoke, yet didn't defend it.
You've got to remember as well, Envy took sort of an eco round where maybe normally they would have forced up, so that means they're probably expecting to get a lot out of this round. You know, if this round fails for them, it's probably not time for Envy to go on full tilt mode, but it'll be a bit upsetting to them anyway that that they sort of skipped around and now they don't get anything out of this one. Yeah, that would be a little bit annoying. They only had the one Molotov that they've already used, so traditionally on this map, the strength of Envy is the speed. Maybe they start slow, but once they go all in, and that could be hard to deal with.
And again, this is something we've seen so often already from EnVyUs in just the 7 rounds we've had. Get that peek around top and mid and immediately back straight down banana. So it looks like it may well be a B hit. MBK, Kyo and Kenny are set up there, waiting for the smokes to clear. Remember, there was already a smoke used deep. Looking towards, no more smokes in their inventory, so CLG are all out as soon as this one clears. They rotate in, they're going straight back up. It's going to be a top and mid breaking straight out while Happy comes around apartments.
Oh, there's a good shot there from Hayes, immediately shutting down Apex. Look at the time here. This is ludicrous. Envy, what are you doing? 15 seconds left, and MBK is going down. They can't possibly do this. Cutler to take one kill, and there's Hayes for the double, and Happy, last man, fighting with 6 seconds left. It's a triple kill for Hayes. Great round for him, and honestly, it was a super confusing round here. I mean, Dima, you were pointing out they were setting up over at Banana. They throw the 3 grenades in, which honestly, that committing that much to a fake and then running back, I think you need more map control to do that. They didn't even check top Banana. If someone was hiding there, they would immediately know that it wasn't going to be B push.
Yeah.
So that was a very confusing round.
Ordinarily, if you're going to fake it like that, you at least send one person to B to actually sell that fake. But nobody rotated from CLG. They weren't falling for it. JDM lands the shot on towards Kenny S there, immediately tagging him down. So they did commit for armor in this round, despite the fact they are only on pistols. Hayes has got himself covering off quad once again, so if Apex was to check this angle, he's ready and waiting, and immediately they're going to be rushing straight into the crosshairs. JDM ready.
Finesse running into library, trying to adjust. Pretty good movement coming out right now from CLG. You can tell that they are not wanting to fight Envy one at a time. They want to put them into a position where they're sort of all grouped up here. It seems to be working out really well. I guess we couldn't expect too much out of this round for Envy, as they only have pistols and armor, but it's still not too bad here. If they could just get a kill on Cutler or Hayes, do a little bit of damage, but they're not going to be successful, and that's going to put it at 5-3. That's CLG winning 5 rounds in a row. What do you think, D-Man? At this point, are you believing?
Well, there's a really, really good bank built up for CLG. I mean, JDM sitting on a 12k at the start of the round. He's just brought up his assortment of grenades, but they are in fantastic situation right now. 5-3, like you say, it is a CT-sided map. We know Envy are going to have a good CT side, so they need to get as much as they can to have a hope here. But it's not beyond the realms of possibilities. You know, we heard Sponge talking about he believed that Inferno was possibly CLG's worst map. I don't know to attest to that record, but maybe, just maybe, they've been working on it.
Certainly seems pretty good at the moment. Kenny spraying down, and he's going to get taken out by Tarek. That was a 3-man stack of top banana for CLG, and a very, very cool switch up. They are right now trying to guess what EnVy might be doing and adjusting before EnVy actually has a chance. JDM going to put a leg shot in there on Apex, and we're going to be in a 4v5 with about a minute left on the clock here.
Yeah, they're not going to run it down this time, you feel. Cutler is in an important position here at pit. He's got the backup of JDM where he was tagged up. Just making sure, but again, it looks like they are going to back away. It is going to be another B hit. Happy's going to be the complete distractor. He's actually going to be pushing through on the smoke to Hayes there. Hayes, not too sure if he realizes how lucky he was with that flashbang catching Happy in the middle of the smoke. Happy replies with one of his own. But again, they're running the clock down, 35 seconds. Keo, MBK, and Apex look like to be the guys that are going to go around to B. There's the CT smoke cutting off Spawn, but Tarek's in a great boost here to cut this off.
So up on the box, gets the first kill there. Cutler also taking out Happy, and it's Kiyoshima and Apex left with 19 seconds in a 2v5, and Bomb is dropped as well. Not a lot that they could do here. This is actually kind of interesting because we're not even seeing rounds where it's down to like a crazy 1v1. The Bomb is down, CLG just clutch it, but you feel like all the time maybe EnVy is close. This feels like CLG are just applying the chokehold and just slowly strangling EnVy in the first stage of this first half here.
And EnVy are forcing the Tech 9s, two AKs. They are not really finding a foothold here. They had a great little start, but CLG, once they've got set up in defense, seem pretty solid on the CT side. EnVyUs, they keep on probing, they keep on prodding, checking their positions, trying to sell the fakes, but CLG just not falling for any of their trickery yet.
They're being not very aggressive at the moment. EnVy, that is, and they're also not applying a lot of speed. So the lack of aggression means CLG are allowed to hold on to the grenades a lot longer. You can tell now there's a minute left, and they still have, what, 3 smokes, three Molotovs. That's incredible. That means they can run down the clock infinitely almost here. So EnVy, I think they need to be a little bit more themselves. More aggression, a little bit more speed, try and put some pressure on CLG, and deny them that banana control. That's been very, very hard as a CT player to get recently because people have become so good at controlling this car area at top banana with Molotovs and smokes, and EnVy just aren't doing it. Tarek is being allowed to see everything.
This time, Finesse is actually not in the right place. JDM will join Tarek. Tarek's going to be holding the angle at Fountain, and 4 members of EnVyUs are about to come around this corner. JDM will get the first look, doesn't manage to land the shot, but he goes straight to Tarek's crosshairs. He gets himself a double. Can he make it a triple? Easy with the pistol. Will it be a quad? Kenny is trying to push on through, gets into Grill, but Tarek will get his 4th. And Happy, the only man standing, over on A site with Boiler. 10 seconds remaining, no bomb in sight, and it's going to be an easy headshot for Cutler.
Nicely done, Tarek, showing us once again here that he's definitely got it, and that was in spite of JDM missing this shot. I mean, there are definitely opportunities, but they are they're not exploding onto the bomb sites, are they? They're just sort of like, seeping in there a little bit every once in a while.
Well, they spent a full minute of the map at the bottom of mid. Maybe they were using it as a tactical timeout. Who knows? They're using it as in-game timeout. JDM not able to land the shot there. The game you can see, obviously, EnVyUs just with the pistols, not a great deal in their inventory. And maybe they just need to speed things up, and that's what they're trying to do here. MBK, though, challenging out on JDM. There's really only ever going to be one winner when you do that on a AWPer, unless he misses that first shot. Apex going to try and do the same. He does miss the second shot, and that's actually tagged him pretty low. Good deagle work here. He's going to get flashed out by his teammate, and that will keep him at bay for now, but Apex gets a second buy. Why did he go for the repeak?
I don't know. Yeah, she probably shouldn't have done that. Solo on health, very expensive rifle, and they're not under any pressure to try and win that fight, so Apex picks up an AWP, not his traditional strength, but he lands a kill anyway, and Happy takes down Hayes, and now the bomb is dropped at 45 seconds left, and Tarek's actually controlling it, so he might be a hero here. It's going to be a 2v2, and already looking for a shot. Smoke is up, but there is a guy already right around the corner. Yeah, he did see it. You're absolutely right, and Apex there picking up a triple. Now it's Finesse walking in, takes the face off Apex, and now it's Happy in the pit, fighting. 30 seconds left. Finesse
just hide.
Happy. Oh, and there's the shot. They win the round. double kill for Happy, triple for Apex, and that's a huge turnaround. And I think you're right, though. That probably started with JDM just
going for the
feeling a
repeat.
bit too confident.
This is something, obviously Moses was talking about it back at Pro League Finals, how they will go for the repeat. We saw it with JDM yesterday on Overpass, and we were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he went and got a quad kill. Yeah. So it works for them sometimes. Yes, they had a stack of money, but they just gave up a really, a round they should not be giving, especially to EnVy. Giving the AWP to Apex, and suddenly he makes use of it and clears out Pit. It backfired on them horribly. 7-4. They're maybe going to be looking at that score when they get on towards the T side themselves and thinking, why did we get a little lackluster there? It's a 5-man stack from EnVyUs at the top and mid. CLG, they're in position to defend.
Yeah, the Counter-Strike gods have a way of turning those kind of mistakes against you so that it's exactly that one round that you needed at the end. But I don't know. EnVy again trying for this mid control. They are a bit more aggressive this time. They're already up quad with about a minute left, making their way into the bomb site. And there's a quick trade there. JDM taking out Apex in the haste. He's going to get a kill, but then go down to Happy, and he will be able to fall back at least. So 3v3 retake. Bomb is being planted in the default position, and all of CLG are here.
Well, JDM lining that shot up. That's going to get smoked off. That nade will land, actually. It's going to catch straight towards JDM. Are they going to flash and push through the smoke? They will do. Kenny S in the corner. He's spotted. Tarek sees it, takes him down. Oh, he gets the no-scope on JDM, but Tarek finally finished the job. Finesse and Tarek, the last two standing, but Keo lines himself up a double from Graveyard. The man that really stepped up for EnVy yesterday against TSM. Delivered once again, 7-5.
And you saw what happened there. As soon as EnVy make first contact, they really don't stop. They just keep going at least until the bomb is down. And then it's like they sort of reset themselves and think, all right, well, now we're in a new position, and let's play the after plant. So very well done, and much more like we normally see EnVy play here. 13th round coming up, and CLG pushing into the middle, and they're going to catch the spray down. Tarek gets 1-2, almost a third one as Apex is on half health, but Cutler is there to bring down Apex. This is beautiful. You have to have such a lot of appreciation of what CLG are doing here. They're still a man up, but Cutler is calling this game very well at the moment.
Yeah, the switch of aggression definitely catching EnVyUs out there. They've been playing it slow. Now they try to quicken things up, and CLG caught them napping there. Just Happy and Kyo. Happy's going to recover that bomb. Now they're in a tricky situation. Obviously, they're going to keep one on site, both A and B. That's Finesse and JDM, and Hayes sat in arch, ready to dash in whichever direction they are pulled towards. Keo and Happy making their way up the top of mid. They're going to be going straight to Hayes. Happy's going to go for the P.
Oh, almost crouches into the fire.
He didn't see the Hayes holding the angle, and he's not looking now. He's walking blind. Very close Hayes there. You can see it's took them down to what, 21-13, so already damage done here. 31 seconds. They have to start moving here. They have to start making a move. If they're going for that rotate, this is going to run the clock right down. Keo down the bottom of Banana. He's dashing towards B site, just 20 seconds. If Finesse, he only needs to land a singular shot, doesn't even need to be a headshot, and it will cut this round down for EnVyUs. It has backfired, and that little bit of aggression worked well. There it is. Bomb carrier down. Happy's going to try and rush in, but just 10 seconds remain on the clock, and it's going to be easy for Finesse to clean the round up.
That was a pretty scary flashbang that was thrown in there. If Finesse got down, that would have been really strange, but well handled by CLG. Just to try and count real quick here before this next round gets underway. They've run a triple setup on Banana. They've had Tarek inside on the box. They've had JDM inside with AWP. They've had Tarek alone. They've had aggressive pushes down to bottom of Banana. Now they've had pushes into middle and pushes into apartments. CLG is showing us a huge array of different CT setups, and that's one of the reasons why they're doing so well. It's very difficult for EnVy to keep up with all of this. I'm very surprised and very pleased that Cutler is calling all of this so well. You should give a lot of credit to what he's doing right now. This is not easy to do.
He's about to get very busy as well, because they're all coming towards Pit, which is where he lies, and there's going to be dropping down. No chance there as the team pile through. That's the first rifle picked up. What can they do with the rest? It's going to be an easy bomb plant, and again, it's another pistol. They just dashed on through, used their speed. No smokes and flashes really coming through, other than the singular flash thrown at Cutler. Get complete control of sight, and because CLG, while they had a huge bank at one point, now they're actually not in a great situation. They can afford to buy in the next round, but they need to save these two weapons.
Did I curse them, D-Man? Is that what happened?
You might have.
I'm so sorry, Cutler. I really didn't mean to.
I mean, at the time, it was looking like it could be an easy 10-5, but now 9-6 is the best they can hope for, because EnVy just decimated in that round.
I think 9-6 is going to be manageable if they pick up the pistol of the second half. If EnVy get the pistol, I don't know if they're going to really ever slow down after that. Yeah, it shows you that that it's not easy to play against a team of this caliber, and I don't know why EnVy started playing as slowly as they did, but you can clearly tell that there was a point where around 10 rounds in where they just decided, all right, now we're going to switch gears and actually speed it up, which I think they should have been doing from the very beginning, because that's what they normally do.
MBK preferring to hold on to the M4 instead of getting an AK in the final round of the half. Unusual, you usually see that. Normally everybody favors the AK. That's a good first hit from JDM on Kenny. Yes, AWP on AWP as he comes leaping around the corner, tried to go for that element of surprise. Now they're going to be rushing through top and mid. JDM covering the angle again at Harch there, so that will slow things down. That smoke will extinguish the flames and stop them. Apex actually just going to push on through. Is it going to work out though? JDM backing up and playing this one smart.
He's in library. The rest of the EnVy team over towards quad. He's looking for the shot. He's going to take down Apex, and now it's a 5v3. This might work out well for CLG. They do need this round a lot more than EnVy do right here. Hayes trying to spray, but MBK, while Flash gets the headshot, and there's a return as JDM takes down MBK all the way over from library. FNS taking down another one. It's up to Happy now in a 1v3 with 20 seconds left. And he's in pit. He's going to go. Oh, he's getting shot from pit as well. And there's Tarek with the last kill. So they do make it to 9-6 at least. And what do you think? I mean, is that a reasonable score here at the end of the half?
Well, 9-6 is one of those scores that I think both sides are usually happy with. Like, it's an okay CT side, but it's also an okay terrorist side. Like, EnVy are going to feel confident that they can close this out on the CT side. Like you said, pistol is actually a pretty big deal, because you could see COG pick up the pistol, then you would, I would say, expect them to win the second round, but it doesn't always happen, and quite often doesn't. But you would expect them to be looking at 11, 12 rounds before EnVy can actually react with rifles.
Yeah, and you're doubly right. I mean, especially against EnVy, that's like their strength, isn't it? Winning the follow-up rounds after you just start feeling good about the pistol, and then if they turn it around. Here it is, though, four armors on CLG and all Glocks here. And a couple of flashbangs on Finesse. Happy playing by the sandbags with the USPS. He's letting them by. Oh no, it's going to come down to this, but he misses the shot. Finesse turns around, takes down Happy, and now MBK doing good damage, but that's a huge giveaway here from the French captain. Finesse fighting a little bit more, trying to find Happy on Apex, and he's going to get it. Can't even keep up at this point. MBK taking down Hayes, but Tarek there to execute MBK, and it's down to Kiyoshima and Kenny in a 2v4. And Kenny looking to see if he can salvage it. He's going to go down as well, and now it's all on Kiyoshima in a 1v3. Bomb is down, and this is a huge turnaround for CLG. A round that maybe they should have lost within the first couple of seconds, and they end up winning it there. Cutler with the double.
It's one of those moments, you know, everybody's seen the highlights, the Pasha reels, as he sees them all just creeping past and pops out, gets himself the 4K, and suddenly a quick 180 from Finesse, spinning mid-air headshot. It just happens like that. But SMG's picked up by CLG. This is what you'd expect to follow 2 AKs as well. Let's see if they can close out that second round on the T side, make it 11-6, which should be on the cards. Apex is going to go aggressive in apartments, it seems, while Finesse is heading that direction. Looks like he's going to get himself in towards dark. And Hayes, Cutler and JDM all looking to break out of top and mid, while Kenny holds the angle.
That was a maddening round there for EnVy. Happy's going to be very upset at that. And a nice shot from Cutler. I like the fact that EnVy have gone for, I think they had 3 or 4 smokes at the beginning, so that's just trying to put some pressure on the terrorist side and hope that they make some forced errors. But so far, CLG are on the way to an 11th round. We could be looking at 12-6 before EnVy can make a proper buy.
Well, Happy makes his appearance known. Apex does find one. That was in apartments, so he's managed to collect himself something. Actually, he didn't pick up the weapon. He didn't pick up the weapon despite getting the kill. He just realized he's got to push through, and that may well have been his downfall. Happy sitting in moto, hoping he's going to be unspotted. Well, this bomb plant's cleared out. His teammate MBK is down, and JDM's going to get full vision. He manages to pop ahead. Can he get a second here onto Hayes? Just 3 hit points. He went for the knife there. Hayes tried to make it work again. That would be, I mean, that's nice for them. If they can get a double knife on EnVyUs, I think that's a little scalp in itself. But 11-6, it's a great start for CLG.
especially if you could knife Happy, who just made essentially a round-losing mistake in the pistol. If you can then
Tilt the
go into
leader,
knife, yeah, why not? And especially Happy's, not one to shy away from bullying in the game, so try and turn it around on him. I absolutely would.
Well, this time CLG, they're playing it slower. I think they're expecting maybe weapons here, but EnVyUs, of course, they're just on a full save.
Yeah, and
Playing
this
it coy.
stack can be. It's interesting to see if CLG have a good sort of way of approaching this and figuring out where the stack is, if there is one. But the fact that they are sort of grouped up in the middle is already a pretty good sign that, I mean, apart from two people just controlling the extremities and making sure they're not getting flanked, they are not trying to give away any rifles here.
Well, the way that CLG are creeping, it looking like it may well be a B hit, unless Tarek's going to sell a real good fake hit. The rest of the team are joining him, so this triple stack, now make it a 4 stack, read by Envy, could work out well. 4 members are waiting as CLG push into sight.
Apex hiding by oranges and also MBK by the coils. There's going to be a shot for Apex. NBK takes down Cutlerin. Oh no, CLG. We talked about it, but now it might actually be happening, and this would be a disaster for them. This is soul destroying. Apex trying to move forward, jumping through the smoke. They're trying to fall back, but they're going to run into Happy, and they do overrun him. Finesse also taking out Apex, and now it's a 3v3, and they're making the mad dash towards that A bomb sign, and they'll have time. It takes roughly 17 seconds to run from A to B through middle, so 22 seconds, they're going to be just fine with the time, and Kiyoshima and MBK, well, Kiyoshima's here, sprays 110 seconds, he gets the kill, and that's going to be the round. Nothing that Finesse can do, and look at that facepalm there. Tarek absolutely crushed. Oh my god, I cannot believe Kiyoshima got there in time.
And what a great time for a little tactical pause from EnVyUs. They pick up the round, and that was that single AK-47 that Kyo had managed to rescue and run all the way around through the CT spawn, but get into A's site. And well, Finesse was trying to be the distractor, try and say, hey, we're still going for B site, guys. They were not falling for it, and what a great little spray down. Once you take that bomb carrier out, it's soul destroying, I think, for CLG there, because they were playing it right. They realized the danger. They're like, wait, guys, they backed away. There's way more than 2 people in this site. Let's get away from the danger. That's going to put them in an interesting situation. So EnVyUs pick up the round. They're going to obviously be going straight into this with rifles, and CLG, well, I don't think they're going to be forcing anything here as I see Tech9's popping into play.
It looked like CLG were definitely losing that round as long as they kept pushing B, but they made the choice to run back. They could have still lost it if Happy had got a quick kill on someone, but they ran him over, and then Finesse even picked up another kill, and then it looked solid. It looked like that was going to be it. And now, oh, CLG. When they were playing CLG against TSM on train,
Yeah.
that one round that TSM won, the follow-up to the pistol, that's what broke them. They were so far ahead, and that one round they just couldn't recover from. And that's something that they're going to have to do once again here. They need to change it around, see if they can find the mental strength to not break at this point in the game.
I see Kyo's going for the smoke, so there's going to be Kyo Apex on A site, Kenny S from Arch. And CLG looking to go that way, but the spray down through the smoke from Kenny S finds Hazed. And that's already put a bit of doubt in CLG's mind. They do just have Tech9s, and you can see that single AK that Finesse had carried over from the previous round. He's going to be the man that they're going to be looking for to make the impact like Kyo did. But look, there's 4 members of EnVyUs already here. Now, will they go for the rotate? Can they force it on MBK? Can they turn the tables? Finesse manages to get Happy down. That could be a rifle earned by them, but Kenny S was holding it off. They are going for the rotate. It's going to be towards B. MBK's got a smoke down that Kyo put down there a moment ago from A site, but it looks like they might well push on through. Kenny S is on the rotate, but MBK stops him dead in his tracks, and it's going to buy time, but he's going to need Kenny S. They do manage to find a bomb carrier. JDM just tucked away. Not going to be able to get that bomb down while MBK is here. I think this should be a good round for EnVyUs. As MBK nearly got took out by Kenny S there. You know, they've got a bit of old rivalry, but...
Yeah, exactly. I think there was even an article about that, wasn't there?
Recently,
try and put the past behind them. Wow, that was a great... I mean, the timing for MBK with that flashbang was uncanny, wasn't it? Because he can't know if they're running through the smoke because he was actually not watching. Maybe he heard a footstep or something, but certainly he just he got the timing down perfect for the opening frag. Now, we're seeing a bit of a strange buy for CLG. I'm guessing they're just evening out the money here, so it's not like any kind of real buy-up. But 3 Molotovs and 2 armor, a couple of Tech9s. I mean, maybe it can work. Happy in the corner by the sandbags. Let's see if he can do better this time than last time.
But it's clever. Look, they've got the smoke, so nobody would expect him to be here because the smoke's to the other side. He will pop out, gets a double, gets a triple, switches to the USB, can't quite get any more as they will finally punish him, but he's got MBK to back him up. The spray transfer will work in his favor, and it's 11-9. EnVyUs starting to gather ground on the CT side.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard for a moment here, it's actually JDM top fragging at 18 kills, then Cutler at 15 and Happy at 15. The fact, we have got Tarek at 15 just to not leave anyone out, but actually all of CLG is performing super well. No one is really far behind. Very impressed by the fact that Cutler is able to call and play at this level. Been super good so far, but now he's got to prove that he can do it on the terrorist side. JDM to open up on Kenny, and Envy trying very early in the second half here for a bit of an aggressive push in the middle. JDM taking down Apex as well, and that's the two former Titan members, both gone in the beginning of this round.
When you want something to change, try and turn the screws a little on EnVyUs, who've just gone 3 rounds running. That is the best start you want now. They can't afford to give this round up with a 2-man advantage. It's forced EnVyUs into a real tricky situation. You see Happy rotating on the map there, so he's decided to stack out with B. That's where they believe it's coming, but we can see on the mini-map they are heading towards Kyo's, holding aggressive in apartments and balcony, but he's got to catch 5 members of CLG who are all going to be coming around. 3 of them are going to go CT Arch. JDM just covering the backside with finesse. I'm not too sure whether Kyo's going to be able to keep them at bay. That molly into apartments is going to be ineffective because nobody is up there. Can he land the first shot? Now they know his position. The rest of his team are going to rotate with him, but CLG, they should be able to get this site.
It's just ignoring him at this point and saying, fine, if you want to hold pit, then do it. We'll still put down the bomb, and there's not a lot you can do to stop us here. Good shot from Kiyoshima, though. Backup is coming in here. I mean, retaking this is going to be very tricky, but we land another headshot on JDM, and MBK's here to spray down. Finally, Cutler replies, but Kiyoshima, oh, he doesn't get the kill. I think the light pole just saved him, and now Happy jumping, looking for a Cali-type shot, but not going to happen. Happy will land their shot with the AWP, but he goes down to Cutler, who lands a triple kill and survives on just 12 health. What a round. This is so close, and it should have never been. Kiyoshima should have been irrelevant in the pit, and even when his teammates show up, it shouldn't have been possible to make it that close of a retake.
Yeah, a 5-on-3 situation down to a 1-on-1 between in-game leaders is not how it should be working. I'm glad you called it light pole because I know the players have a different name for it that we generally can't use on air. So I will stick with light pole from now on. But
yes.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure everybody knows what it's called, so I'm not going to elaborate on that one. Kyo Apex once again back over an A's site. Held them off. This time, Kenny and Apex, they're not going to go peeking, not going aggressive. They just got their head taken off by JDM in the previous round, who's once again holding that mid angle, while the rest of the team are going to push out. So Flash is out top of mid. CLG, let's see if they're going to follow through. They're looking to see if any fire will come through, and Kenny S, well, he caught one through the spray down last time, but this time around, not so successful. Doesn't get any tags instead. Eats a grenade, tries to back himself out with a flash.
Hiroshima up on the balcony. There's Apex picking up a killer, and a nice aggressive move there. Kenny also chiming in, and CLG kind of being shut down here, which is a big problem for them. They didn't really develop that much of a bank. Obviously, only one person surviving the previous round, so they're in a really tricky spot. And JDM, I mean, how do you even save the AWP with 35 seconds left? They're already out looking for him, as they should be.
Well, let's not forget, if you could do damage to EnVyUs, that would help, because they themselves are not exactly healthy financially, having lost the previous round. There's one. That's actually worked well in his favor, because he can just head straight over towards CT spawn. Nobody's there, but there's still 20 seconds on the clock. They're going to chase him down. Cat and mouse as everybody comes this way. Surely somebody's got to cut him off. There we go. MBK has finally said, you know what, we should probably cut off Banana, but JDM is going to make his stand in CT spawn. Don't think he's going to be looking towards kitchen there. He's going to be happy that we'll push out. Is he going to hold it? Is he going to hold it? He is, you know. He's going to hang on to the rifle. Well done, JDM.
That's actually very intelligent movement. I'm really liking that.
Well, from a guy that normally re-peaks many times, that was actually intelligent play from him.
Yeah, right now JDM is showing a lot of different qualities, apart from just some very scary AWP shots. He's showing us like an array of different sort of really good qualities you want in a good Counter-Strike player. So yeah, it's actually pretty exciting. 12-10. CLG still leading by 2 rounds, but now they've just got the AWP, and Envy should be able to guess this. So all they need to do is not give JDM any opening shots.
Yeah, they just don't give him an angle. He's the man that's leading the team on the map right now. Everybody stacked up behind him, waiting to pounce, try and pick up that rifle. Probably more of a foot race to see who can get the weapon first, actually. JDM peeks over to Quad, gets the support of Hayes, who checks out towards CT Arch. KennyS was there, but he's backed away through Arch and now going towards Library. As JDM continues his hunt, trying to find a head, trying to find anything. Apex is in Graveyard, which is where JDM may be looking. Keo up on balcony. He's about to burst out, so that's Graveyard down. But Keo will clear out Finesse on balcony, and that's going to cause them a problem, but they're going to wrap around. They're pushing on Arch, and KennyS just mows them down as they come around. Keo in support, and there's JDM. Finally, they get that AWP out of his hands and take it 12-11.
Yeah, I mean, nice try from JDM there. Actually, then 2 shots, I think, on Graveyard before he got the kill, but both of them actually did hit. And CLG going to have to go for another eco-type round. But again, they do it with 3 Molotovs and 2 smokes. Last time they did this, they ended up at the B-bomb site.
Yeah.
4 Molotovs in a round where you have only 2 armors. This is definitely unusual. I'm actually very intrigued to see how this is going to work out. There is one player in this B-bomb site who is in a position where they might get Molotov. That's NBK.
Yeah, he's just got himself at new box, but he's going to back away. Looks like he's going to be positioning himself there. This has been read well, though. Apex has rotated into position. You can see CLG all lining up. Looks like it's going to be a wall of fire about to come this way. Question is, will it work out? They've got to wait for that smoke, but they're just going to flash through it. But it was a good counter thrust flash from Happy as they try and push on through. That molly is just not working in their favor.
Happy gets a kill. NBK burns Cutler alive, and JDM did reply, but this is not going to matter. You can't possibly do this when there's a 3-man stack at B. Good shot from Tarek, but he's bent over the grill. Luckily, that's not on fire, but still, it's going to end up going down. And Kyoshima gets the kill on Finesse. 23 kills for JDM, just to catch everyone up. It's 12-12 currently, and we're in the 25th round.
It's certainly hotting up here in Cologne. 12-12, all square. Will CLG be able to drag themselves back here? EnVyUs starting to post a reasonable CT side now. 6-3 so far in the half. As KennyS lines up, tries to get an angle, caught a glimpse of the leg flicking past. He goes aggressive, and Cutler catches him out, and that's a great little opening with the AWP down. JDM already got an AWP of his own now. I think unless that was, here's the one he just picked up. I'm going to have a quick look at that, see if it's the magic stick. It's not the magic stick, so therefore it was his own AWP, as far as I'm aware.
It always feels like there's more justice, doesn't there, when you steal the other guy's AWP and then kill him with it. You feel like that's the appropriate thing to do, especially playing against Kenny. Well, 55 seconds left now. And CLG moving up for a little bit of mid-control. Might try and see if they can swing around quad, and right now, Envy have a good position to deal with that type of push. And they've got 2 in pit, 1 in archway, and actually the arch push would be much better. If they can kill Happy right now, that would be a big opening. 40 seconds, Happy going to take down Tarek, but they are forcing their way, wrapping around. They realize that Apex is in the pit. They just saw him jumping. Happy goes down, but 30 seconds. They're going to go for the bomb plant here.
It's going to be a quick plant, so JDM gets into the corner. Quick plant, I say that with 28 seconds remaining. Not so quick. Quick in terms of EnVyUs in the previous half, that's for sure. But 4-man hold. It's a little awkward hold, though, because 2 in pit still that they haven't cleared out. They did this before, and it came down to a 1-on-1. They've got to be so careful. Finesse does go for the peak. Keo is going to find his head, but now he is the only man standing. Cutler just 4 hit points with Hayes. Hayes is the main man. If he gets taken down, this is going to be a troublesome round for CLG, but they will close it out and regain the lead, 13-12, and collect the AWP of JDM.
Last time, you're right, it very nearly didn't work out for them, and that was just Kyoshima in the pit. This time they had 2 in pit, and Happy did actually initially fall back to archway, so the way I was reading that round, it looked like CLG were about to walk into a pretty bad situation. Rooting those 2 people out of pit is usually very difficult, but I love the fact that CLG have just elected to say, well,
smoke them off and leave them.
Yeah, just do that. Don't even worry about it. And Envy are now trying to switch it up and say, okay, well, we're going to have to come up with something different then.
We'll see. It is going to be a rifle round for both teams. EnVyUs, of course, could afford to buy straight back up there. They're not exactly flush for cash. CLG hoping they can get a peek. Remember, KennyS was the first one to go down last time. They've got that tri-stack over at quad we've seen them do yesterday. Apex covering balcony from the bottom. You see Keo up on And what do we call that now? Is it because that's balcony? What would you call that? Like,
we actually had this discussion once, and I think we agreed on tiny balcony, which is really hard to call out when you're in the middle of a fight.
Tiny balcony. You can't have something with a similar name.
Look up, he said the tiny balcony. Yeah, you're not going to say that before your teammates are dead. Which is why this position is great. Nobody knows what it's really called. Kenny and Kiyoshima each to get a kill. It's going to be wonderful.
The tiny balcony working wonders. Now they're going to try and push through. Tarek and Cutler, though, just caught in the spray down from Happy, and that's cut them dead in their tracks. JDM once again with a 30-second hold on his AWP. Not too sure he's in the best situation to try and do it this time. Apex, Kyo, all coming his way. They're going to wait for the clock to run down before they chase out that weapon. EnVyUs, well, they can afford to buy weapons now because obviously they're going to win the round. They weren't exactly great for cash, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they don't want to rush into his crosshairs.
CLG, on the other hand, I'm worried now, D-Man, because it feels like CLG could be edged out of this map because of the economic disadvantage that they have here. Previous Envy won 3 rounds in a row, then CLG took the 1, and now they lost this one. So that means their money is reset, and they just don't have a lot to go for it. They're going to go for a tactical pause, I think, actually. It's Tarek calling it there. I'm guessing that's a tactical pause because now would not be such a bad time to try and do it. I don't know what I mean, obviously, they're not going to be buying this round, so I'm guessing they're not pausing to try and figure out what they'll do this round, but the round after that. I still think one of the really good attacks on this A-bomb site is having 3 or more go very, very aggressive and explosive out of the apartments and jumping into pit, while one guy's on quad flashing them in, because you can throw some really good flashbangs that sort of go into pit and balcony. So as long as people aren't holding tiny balcony, you're going to be all right.
Something I noticed yesterday with the mouse game and today is not many people actually get to EnVy's B site. They really, I don't think there's been a plant there. If there was, it was cleared out instantly. I don't recall anyone successfully getting onto the B site. I can remember 1 round from mouse, and that was it. Yeah.
I think Envy fits into, there are a couple of teams that are really good at it. Envy, Fnatic, TSM, at saving their grenades for an unreasonable amount of time, so that if you want to push B, and this is, in my opinion, the core dilemma with Inferno, that if you want to push B, you have to do it through that really narrow chokehold, and if you just, now that they have enough for smokes and Molotovs, they can actually make you push at around 20 seconds, which means 1 mistake in the round is over. Some of the teams that don't do it well, for some reason, Na'Vi, for instance, are horrible at saving their smokes, and they're still pretty good at this map, which, if one day Na'Vi figure out how to save smokes on CT side, they'll just be unstoppable on this map.
Well, as it stands, we're just waiting for CLG to figure it out, and you can see it's cool, calm discussion there. Cutler was the in-game leader. He is now. Obviously, it used to be Finesse before, and it was Peter before that, of course. So they've gone through a couple of iterations of who will lead the team, and Cutler has been by far looking to be a very good leader. You know, I had a good chat with him earlier. Obviously, ESWC, they had a rocky performance, I think it's safe to say. But, you know, they've qualified for ESL 1 in 2 weeks' time through America. They are classed as the #2 team, and right now they're really putting it against EnVyUs. Although Envy, you would argue, in a stronger situation on the CT side.
Yeah, tied at 13-13, but the health advantage obviously for EnVyUs as JDM burns alive to Apex. He did have that AWP, but not anymore. And it's going to be picked up by Hazed instead. So looks like Envy should be able to clear up this round fairly easily, especially as Happy. And this is classic Happy, isn't it? Just hunting for those frags.
Well, they've actually done a good job at covering off, expecting this push from Happy a number of times, but finally he's successful. I think it was Tarek that had been holding the angle for the last 4 rounds every time he tried to do that one. But EnVyUs with a lead, finally with the lead here.
I'm obviously very bad at maths, but I actually thought they had more money this round than they do. I thought this was going to be like this is almost a full buy round for them. That's kind of devastating. They have to buy, because otherwise they're giving match and map point to Envy. But I feel for CLG right now. And that grenade.
Yeah, that was on point.
Wow.
Right on top of Cutler now. Default setup from EnVyUs. Kenny S once again over Arch, Kyo and Apex in and around pit. Happy just lingering between the CT spawn, waiting to back up. They're so confident that they can just leave MBK alone over on that B side. Like you said, there's the smoke just been reapplied. I think it probably came from Kenny S as well. And that's just slowing things down. CLG again got control of mid, but Apex is about to have a look here. He goes, he's going to flash himself out. Both him and Keo went for it. Did they just catch a glimpse of Tarek's rifle at poking out? I'm not too sure. They are going to back away though and set up a defense. Doesn't look like it because Happy is on the rotate, so he's heading back towards B site. So they haven't quite read this situation just yet, Envy. CLG going to have to land their shots though.
And they're going to have to go for A, because there's 30 seconds left and still two Molotovs left over at B. If they try and swing back to B, this will be an absolutely disastrous round for CLG. And luckily, they will wrap around into the quad. And now Apex up Graveyard looking for someone's face looking up there. JDM takes a kill, but look at that. They're trading left and right. And in pit now, Kyoshi with the last man. Bomb inside, not planted yet. And 14 seconds on the clock. They got to get this kill and get that bomb down quick. Cut, they're going to go down out to 2v1. And Hayes takes a bullet to the face, and Happy shows up from that B-bomb side and gets a double kill. So 15-13 here, and going into the 29th round. It is so close between these two teams. It was so close between CLG and TSM. Right now, the NA team is showing themselves to be just of a very high caliber. They just need the last 2%.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, the tournament format falls into favor for them, because while teams are solid on these maps, like you would expect Envy to be solid on Inferno, they haven't had the time to suddenly talk through strategies. Like I said, effectively, if they were to approach, say, a bracket format tournament, they would come into it the day before. Okay, we're going to be playing this. This is the map veto. We're probably going to get this. We'll do this, this, this. They've had 20 minutes, 30 minutes to decide what they're doing, and Happy just probably calling on the fly. As it is, Apex, good spray down. Does manage to get into a 2-on-2 situation, though, but Cutler very low. That molly will be taking him straight out. He is the last man. I feel Flames are just the other side of that truck, but down to a 2-on-1. It will be simple finish from EnVyUs. They will take it down 16-13. Another close game, like you said, for CLG, but this time again, it wasn't to be, and it gives EnVyUs the choice of opponent.
Yeah, I guess we could say the expected outcome, but nothing like what we were thinking. We didn't say a squad. If I would have said a score here, I would have said less than 10 rounds for CLG was going to be my prediction.
And you've got to assume that Renegades, obviously the discussion, EnVyUs, they would have had this talk and felt that was an easy opponent at 16-13. They are still the only team with 4 lives, though. So we'll see how it works. We'll see what they choose. Let's go over to the desk to take us through that match.
I mean, they came in pretty strong, but in the end, EnVyUs really, they got the result that was expected of them, and they showed up to play towards the later half of that game. But let's talk about the first half a little bit. I mean, CLG definitely played it to their advantage.
Oh, definitely. Like they had a lot of variance in their CT play, and they were really making it hard for Envy to do really anything. There was a lot of rounds where no kills were on the board for Envy whatsoever. I thought it felt to be like it was going to be like one of those 12-3, 11-4 kind of halves. But then towards the end, you know, you see the classic situation of a bigger team and of just, you know, just getting on top of the underdog.
I actually feel a little bit for CLG because, quite honestly, they've been close in all 3 games so far. You know, 2 16-12s, getting close again in this one. But as Anders, I think, rightly pointed out there, they're just missing that extra little bit, I think, to actually be able to beat these top teams. Yeah.
Well, obviously, they've been getting to start on CT side as well, which is arguably the easier one, especially on a map like Inferno. That gives you, like, they have a lot of skill, obviously. So when you're playing CT, you can, it's less about strategy per se. It's more about positioning and just, you know, reading what your opponent is doing and just hitting your shots and taking aim battles that are in your advantage. They're good at that, obviously, but it just feels like when it comes to those situations where they really need to find something new and like really just that last push, we're just waiting it to happen, and we get disappointed time after time.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like, on CT side, they know what to do, and they're playing it well. I mean, maybe not the best, but they're playing it well. That percent they're missing, though, is when they're on T side, when they need to be their aggressors a little bit. What else do they have? Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are about to find out what the next match is going to be, though. And so far, the French-Australian master plan is working out to dominate the world here at the Intel Extreme Masters and Gamescom. So go ahead, put in your last votes for the next maps. Which maps you want to see in those 8 boxes on screen, as we have most likely Happy, or at least one of the players from EnVy, come onto the stage, and we'll see if they continue this plan. I mean, CLG also, they won't play the next match for sure, but they're down to 1 life, so things can really change a little bit. We're going to find out how things pan out as we go to the stage with OJ.
Thank you very much, Choba, you pantless wonder. So yes, here I'm at the stage with Happy of Team EnVy, and that was hard work for you.
Yeah, it was really tough because we didn't put as many rounds as T as we expected. So when we lost the pistol round as CD, it became like really hard. But we managed to win a great eco round with Kiyoshima doing like 2 important kills. So it just got us back in the game, and we just grinded again. Even if we lost some rounds, it was okay.
And I think what's being proved in this tournament, although we're calling it a fun tournament, the standard is very high.
Yeah, I mean, it's best of 1. Anything can happen. So as you see, anything can happen.
And anything has happened already, which means now you have the power. So what we're going to do first is we're going to choose the maps. Now, Train, Inferno, and Cash have already gone. What map would you like to pick out? Because it means you won't play it for the rest of today.
Overpass.
Overpass, okay then. Well, we've done this before. It's like a game show, an esports game show. We have 8 maps up there behind 8 windows. What number are you going to go for? He's going for Bon. Right, we'll go 2. Vote 2 is from CW Lexstream. It's Mirage. That is the map that's going to be played. Let's look at the other 8. These all came in via the community. Cobbles there, Overpass, Mirage a couple of times, 3 times. Just 1 for Dust 2, which hasn't been played today. Thank you so much for all of those votes. Keep them coming in. The map vote will open again in a second, which brings us now to the teams you're gonna choose. And this is where it's got really interesting. It's all about the politics. Because we know about the Danish. We know about the Danish conspiracy. Is there another one between you and maybe an Australian team?
It's classified.
It is classified, right then. Choose your first team. Who are you gonna pick?
I will pick SK first.
Why are you picking SK?
I don't know.
At least you're honest about it. So SK, they will be playing. Who are SK going to go up against?
I will pick Renegade.
Renegades. Wow. Now, they had an amazing performance last time. Why are you picking Renegades?
Because they picked us.
Wow. Retaliation is revenge, the Australians. So there we go. We know who's playing. SK taking on Renegades. The map is going to be fantastic, and we're going to do that after the break.